Battle.net tried to stop us, but like Thanos, we are inevitable. Day 2 of the Game Arena CoD MW3 launch event continues, and it continues here with a matchup between Saints versus Galaxy Ultra. Hi, everyone. My name is Quinn, better known as Colorblind, of course, joined with Laz, and man, it's still a lot of action to go.
It's so much action to go here today. I mean, a big break, so we really appreciate the patience. We know that was a little bit too long, but you know what? We got things reloaded. We're ready to go. Everybody's in the server pretty much, so we're pretty much going to get into this. But like you said, Galaxy Ultra taking on Saints, and this is actually an interesting matchup just because, again, these teams actually came out of the pool pretty much together. I mean, 2-1, and now we got the maps going through it. So you know what, Colorblind, I'm going to let you take the wheel on this one because this is your wheelhouse.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, you got Skid Row to kick things off. A Highrise S&D. I'm looking for some trick shots. We saw one of them on Twitter about a day ago. And then we have Invasion Hardpoint if we do go the distance into a Game 3. But I'd be remiss real quickly to say something about the cast-off, as we're not just going to be hearing from me and Laz today. We're also got 6 other casting duos who will be taking the desk at various points here today. And you'll have the opportunity to vote on which casting duo you want to see carry us the rest of the way with exclamation point vote. Carbo and Kamika are graciously waiting in the wings. We do apologize that you guys have had to wait a little bit long, but we'll finish this thing out pretty quick. Nonetheless, though, again, Saints versus Galaxy Ultra kicking things off on Skid Row. A very fun map here, Laz.
Yeah, it is. This is, like I said, this is a really good matchup because, again, I think both these teams came out of their pools essentially with respectively like a 2-1 record. So this is where it gets a little bit interesting because on paper, I mean, I kind of would say it's even, but I mean, it's not really the case because, I mean, even the game we had before, we were kind of saying, you know, that Screaming Demons had a lot of work ahead of them, but they made it a nail biter to go to all the way to map 3. So I think at this point, it's anybody's game right now. And I mean, this is, you know, day 2 of the LAN. Everybody's feeling hype. Everybody's excited. So things can change here, man. Like, this is where we have to just kind of see what the mood is from both these teams.
Yeah, and you mentioned the previous matchup that we covered, Newberry College versus Screamin' Demons. Obviously, Screamin' Demons fell into that lower bracket. Newberry advanced, but that was kind of on paper a little bit of an edge for Newberry as they were 3-0. This, in terms of this matchup, Saints 2-1, Galaxy Ultra 2-1, as you alluded to, but it's also the maps as well, 5-2 and 5-3 respectively. Both of these teams, I mean, they are neck and neck in terms of their pool play results. So let's not stall. Let's get right into the action. P1 is online. Let's see which of these two teams is going to beat it out on a grueler.
Yeah, we're back, baby. So now we're here for Hardpoint. So this is going to be a lot to see what we're going to see from our Galaxy Ultra and Saints as well. So again, this is where I think even for, you know, Galaxy, they're going to have to prove what they can do because in the pool they were 1-2 in this game mode. So now we're going to have to see if they can bring things back.
And I'm very interested to see, again, with this map control is really going to boil down to who is going to dominate in terms of the central hallway and garage area. Looks to be both of the squads exchanging blows on P1 as things stand currently, a little bit lit up, but ultimately it goes the way of Wisers, who will be able to soak up a little bit more time for the Saints on this point. P2 coming online, though, in a matter of 17 seconds here, and you already see the rotation out of the Saints. It is looking real good, but you have to hold things down here if you are Prod. 2 players coming down your neck.
Yeah, Prod's got a really good position here. He might be able to find something, and he gets gifted an easy one on a silver platter, so now he can get himself a better advancement, repositioning himself. You can see another kill coming in from Prod. Beautifully done. The movement is crisp, and right now, Saints, they are taking this with so much ease.
Prod is staying alive, adds another to his tally, allows his teammates to rotate on in, and everything will be going up Saints as Cray will drop as well, and it just continues to flood purple in the feed. My goodness, they have the trophy systems as well set up. Crew is trying to wait for his reinforcements to come in, but each and every corner they turn, it just feels like the Saints are cutting them down one by one. Eventually, Crew just has to hit the left foot, right foot. Express trying to climb on up, unfortunately, meets a little bit of unfortunate geometry there, and the Saints just continue to pile it on. 71-1. My lord, Galaxy has to find something.
And the fact too that we're seeing these the kill feed, just again, Wisers and Prod, they're just both sitting at 8-1 and 6-2. So these guys are again putting matters into their own hands right now, and they are just popping off and making it so difficult for Galaxy Ultra. Look at that. There it is again. He is just able to find another kill. They just cannot seem to buy these trades right now, and it's starting to look a little evident.
Oh, and now P3 online. That being said, Galaxy Ultra will find the kills over towards New. Saints still have a decent hardpoint spawn for this, so they can potentially roll on into the point, but they're going to have to be very careful about how they do it. Galaxy Ultra trying to set up very far away from New. Just try and lock this thing down, fortify as much as physically possible, and the kills early on at least are going to justify as Crew and Individuals will find one apiece, and now it's starting to flood blue in the feed. Galaxy Ultra is starting to pick up some time.
Yeah, and they're kind of allowing this too. I mean, they don't really seem like they care that, you know, Galaxy's going to be able to have this for the time being. You can already see that they're getting ready for new positioning for the new spawn. So, I mean, this is kind of interesting because they do have a big buffer right now. They're sitting at that 93 to 31. This nade could be huge, and that's a double, Crew! Oh, baby!
Bang! My goodness, Crew single-handedly locks this thing down for Galaxy Ultra, and the Saints looking for the regain over towards New, but now Galaxy Ultra has found their footing. They've found their way into this map. They have the rotation to go as well, and things starting to get a little bit more dicey for the Saints here as they're starting to feel the pressure. That being said, Desi will find one into the point, but Cray has somehow found his way to the backlines. Hold on. They're not going to let him get that value, just more than that. But things being said here, the contention is in. Saints trying to get the kill to justify. Prof is going to come down to this huge kill, but Crew continues to fry on a 10er. My lord.
He's on 10 in a row, and he finally gets put down. So now we finally see a little bit of reply back coming in from the Saints. But again, the Hardpoint is still in contention right now for Galaxy Ultra. They were down by a significant margin, and look at where we're at right now. We're talking a 97 to 69. This is huge. So now they're going to be able to scrap up some more points. You can already see the Saints. They're kind of getting themselves different positioning. They're going to let this one go, and man, this thing has become right down to the wire. Cruise missile? Oh no.
Oh god, Crew is starting to feel himself. You saw him schmooving and grooving around those corners, now sending in the cruise, but unfortunately it does get nullified by those trophies. Looking for another kill, but eventually does get shut down. And now Galaxy Ultra, they're looking to try and make their way back into this point as the Saints, they have it locked down. You have number 8 and 5, Desi sitting on the point. Prof will eventually see his fallen foe drop to the ground, and now you're starting to feel a little bit of pressure here from the Galaxy Ultra players if you are the Saints. The Saints have to find a way to lock this thing down.
They really do, and they're starting to slow down a little bit here, but you can see Galaxy, they are just full speed ahead right now. The wind is in the sails. They're feeling really good about this, but finally, Saints are able to reply back with multi-kills, and there's another one, and then you can see Galaxy, they can't seem to find anything right now.
Oh, and that's just because of the Saints setup. I mean, their setup is so good. You have Prof as the Overwatch in that building. There's nothing that you can do until you deal with him, and you have his teammates roaming and slaying. The Saints are really good on that setup in P5, but now we turn our attention back into the central hallway. Into P1 we go, and Galaxy Ultra with the early setup rotation. Desi will find the first kill to open the new hardpoint. It pops online, and Weiser's trying to get active early into this next hardpoint.
Yeah, and this is already good. I mean, the fact that they already knew the spawn, they've been in this, now it's getting contended a little bit here, so you can see nobody's gaining anything, but it's still going to be Galaxy now. Creeping their way back into this, almost about to hit that 100, but they still are so much behind. Saints have a great lead, and you can see there's such a big rotate. There's only one player close, and now, even Galaxy, they're kind of giving up this a little bit.
It's very interesting, Hill, the way things are going, especially given the fact that you want to ideally steamroll your way into P2, which looks to be the attention of the Saints as they come through huge off the back of Wisers to collect that scrap. Looks like Galaxy Ultra, they will be trying to contend, but they're just going to get blendered by Wisers, at least for the time being. Desi will come in, collect at the very least a kill on the board. Galaxy Ultra in the final seconds dedicate enough players to get on into the point, but the Saints, they're not worried about this scrap. They're already heading over towards P2, and we've already seen this setup out of them. You have Prod now with the Overwatch. Prof getting a little bit active, getting a little bit up close and personal and dirty as Victuals will eventually set him down, but the Saints are so well set up once again over towards this side of the map.
Yeah, I love this map control. Again, the Saints, they just have such a good read on it. They know they don't even care. They're just kind of tenderizing. They're just kind of, you know, being a distraction, but they're already here locking things down. There's another one. The missile comes in for insult to injury. Wisers with a double. Oh my goodness. Saints have now just made a statement here at this point.
Double must be Weiser's middle name because this man is picking them up left and right. The Saints going to break into that 200-point barrier, barring a miracle here out of the Galaxy Ultra players. They do get a little bit of damage off, but nonetheless, you still have Prod holding strong in the hard point. The Saints will cross in to that aforementioned 200-point barrier. Now, if you're the Galaxy Ultra, things start to get very dicey when you're turning your attention over towards P3. Luckily, you do have those spawns and you do have the early rotations, but the kills are continuing to matriculate in the feed the way of the Saints, and Weiser's Wizers is still alive on a 5 spree, could potentially pocket that cruise missile, which could be something that the Galaxy Ultra players are going to have to look out for.
Man, that could just be the dagger right in the back here. I mean, we're talking about 221 to 130 now, so this is where Ultra, they have to be able to lock this down. It's looking pretty good so far, but Cray's able to find multi-kills now. This is a good position they need to be in. That's what they needed. Somebody to be the hero to lock this thing down. They have a lot of road to go, and the rubber's finally starting to hit the road.
Oh, such a huge play out of Cray. They need to be soaking up this time so desperately, though, because, again, there is such a significant barrier between them and the Saints. The Saints now coming through in the feed with the kills. Prod and Wisers are trying to find their way back onto the point. You still have Prod in the backlines looking for that scrap. That could very well do it, though, but you still have to pay attention to the rotation here. If you are the Galaxy Ultra, you have so little room for error, and it looks like so far the Saints are going to have that rotation. When they have their rotation, we saw them on this point before. It can get deadly.
It definitely can. I mean, this is the thing that Saints, they do have that big buffer with all the points. So now, like you said, they're in the point. They already have it. They're starting to gain it. This is problematic here for Galaxy. They have to be able to win these fights, but it's not looking good yet. Saints starting to get a little bit of a reply, holding things down as much as they can. But Crew, who else than Crew?
What a play out of him. Prevents a disaster there. The Galaxy Ultra, they are not out of it just yet. But again, they still have to play picture perfect. 18 seconds separating the Saints away from a map 1 victory here. Crew's going to play very far up, trying to afford a little bit of room for his team to operate. That's a great positioning. Now in from behind.
No way!
Prod, who completely opens the site on its head. Wisers will get the kill to go. The Saints can win it here and now if they hold. The Galaxy Ultra, they have to get on this point. They have to get on now. They cannot play for new. They have to make the rotation, and you still have Prod who can play for new as well. This is a desperate plea out of the Galaxy Ultra, and it's not going to be answered as the Saints take map number 1.
Oh my god, I cannot believe the way we saw that Saints took it, man. They just were able to come in and kick down the door. Oh my, what a tough pill to swallow right now for Galaxy Ultra. But again, that game was just so chaotic. There was so much going back and forth. Momentum was just all over the place. But at the end of the day, Saints, they just get it done.
Can we talk about Prod there? I mean, in terms of the kill-death ratio, not necessarily the best on his team, but in terms of just map control kills, I mean, he completely opened that hard point up in the downstretch, and on top of that as well, that man was raining hellfire from above over towards the opposite side of the map. He was such a important cog in the machine. They're gonna have to figure out something to do about Prod if they want to win these.
Dude, 100%, and that's the thing is, like I said, I mean, Saints had such a good start, and then all of a sudden, Galaxy Ultra came out of nowhere. They were, again, sweeping the rug a little bit, and then it was just back and forth. Like, this thing was a teeter-totter, so we didn't know what to expect. But I mean, the other thing is too is like Crew, I mean, he was somebody that was pulling in some big kills when he needed to.
Oh yeah,
locking things down. I mean, he was the top fragger with this team with 20 and 15, but I mean, again, he had like pretty much the 3rd highest amount of damage, but it was just evident we were seeing what they could do.
Well, now you have that map in your back pocket here, and the thing about these next 2 picks, they're all Saints picks. Highrise Search and Destroy, that's the Saints pick, as well as Invasion Hardpoint. They just took the pick off of the Galaxy Ultra players, so now they're in the driver's seat by all measures. I mean, they have the series up 1-0. They have the next 2 picks. So if we even go to a map 3, they're still in the advantage.
No, definitely. And this is the thing, though, too, is, I mean, again, that now that this is their picks, this is a huge thing. But again, with the S&D, this actually does favor, on paper, the Galaxy Ultra. So we're going to have to see if we can see that, if that's going to transition into this game. But I mean, that was such a dominant performance from Saints, and we talked about this earlier on today. We talked about momentum. We talked about, getting in their heads. We have to make sure to see, can Galaxy Ultra kind of reset and now try to, bring things over to a 3rd map.
Yeah, and again, off of the respawn into an S&D, it's going to be very different play style to see out of these players. But the thing that I'm not concerned about with Galaxy Ultra is the gunny play. It ultimately did just come down to a couple of rotations not going their way. The setups out of the Saints, magnificent, beautiful. But you don't necessarily have that in S&D. A lot more gunny potential there. If the Galaxy Ultra can get players like Crew activated, if they can get those defensive rounds and attacker side rounds going their way on a consistent basis, I mean, I feel like I'm Booger McFarland out here, but that's kind of how you win S&D, is winning attacker side and defensive side rounds.
100%.
So Galaxy Ultra, it's not over until it is over. But in terms of the scope moving forward, ideally for them, they would have wanted to take this.
Yeah, they definitely would have. And I mean, I think that's the thing. When you have the pick first, you're like, hey, we need this. We want to make sure that that we feel comfortable. So that's where I talk a lot about the mental aspect of this, because now they have to really dig deep. They have to realize that, yes, on paper, I mean, they've historically been good on S&D. I think they had a bit of a slow start in the beginning that we saw on Hardpoint, but like you said, I'm not really worried about the fragging ability here from both these teams. And I think especially for Galaxy Ultra, we really got to see that, especially in the later portions. And that's where we talked a lot about Crew being the top fragger, able to pull up multi-kills. Now it makes me wonder if they're warmed up and they're feeling ready to go for Highrise.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's different from the respawn, but similar things, similar characteristics are going to carry over. I'm just interested to see again, because that was our biggest hardpoint margin that we have seen thus far, at least on the broadcast end of things today. So I'm interested to see, again, given how close these teams were on paper, what the Saints take from that and what potentially they could do to continue that momentum into Highrise. Obviously, they could take it off of Highrise alone. They don't even need another respawn. So a lot in the air here between these two teams.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing is, like, I think, again, for Saints, it's kind of a, a little bit of a saving grace now. Now they have the map buffer, so this is always a great feeling, but you can never let your foot off the gas, right? I mean, they have to make sure that they can try to get the job done. We haven't been able to see yet so far today, like a 2-0. Everything has gone the full distance now, so this is where it's going to be, again, a lot of questions for me, just because we are switching from Hardpoint to S&D, so things are going to switch up in terms of pace and, like, kind of the spawns and stuff, obviously, but it is a totally different map, and this is the first time today we've seen Highrise, so now we finally get to see it, right? And this is going to be a banger.
Man, Highrise is among my top 3 maps of all time in terms of Call of Duty. I just want to see someone. We didn't get to see it on broadcast yesterday, unfortunately, but on Twitter, if you were on there, someone on LAN hit a trick shot on Highrise S&D. Same set, same map, same combo. If someone... I will lose my if someone goes out there and hits I need it. I need it.
100%.
Inject it into my veins, please.
100%. And that's the thing I was talking about too. And I mean, like, for Galaxy Ultra, I mean, on paper, they have been that team that have been really proficient on S&D, but I just got to say, all these games they've had have been very close. They haven't won by huge margins, so we're going to have to see if they're going to pull it all the way the distance, or maybe it could be a dominant fashion.
And just given how small this map is, this is going to be very, very quick rounds. Quick blows are very important in the early rounds, especially getting those first kills. Galaxy Ultra starting off on the attacker side, and Havas opening up with a kill along with Crew to set things up. Now the Saints going to have to play a little bit defensive, a little bit back, and allow the Galaxy Ultra to try and maybe make a mistake on their end of things.
Yeah, nice kill coming in, and actually Prod a little bit caught off guard, and there you go. Galaxy Ultra, they already start things off. A pretty convincing round, too. I mean, it looks like they had full control of that. Really not a lot of hiccups, and it looked like Saints, they just kind of, pants down. They didn't look comfortable.
Yeah, and especially on the attacker side, if you get that first kill on the board, which Havas did in that case, you really just set yourself up to play team deathmatch from that point forward. I mean, and that's exactly what they did. They got those kills on the board and eventually closed the round with little damage on their end of things. Now on the defensive side, though, interesting to see if we're going to see a trend of attacker side rounds.
Yeah, and I mean, earlier on today, we noticed, it was a totally different map, but again, like, the attacking side was kind of, the big question mark, and a lot of us kind of scratching ourselves like, well, like, what's going to happen here? But now things are a little bit different on a map like this. A lot close quarters, smaller map, so this is where things really change in the elements. First Blood's still not going to be done, but a lot of wounding happening.
Galaxy Ultra playing pretty far back, all things considered, and the explosions are something that you're going to have to watch out for. Prof gaining that first kill for the Saints, and now on the attacker side, that gives them an opening to potentially make their way over towards this A site. That being said, though, you still have Victuals and Crew. You're going to have to make sure you do not let get a kill or two off onto you. Prof, excuse me. You have the sniper. Please hit a trick shot.
Do it for everybody. We all want to see it.
Do it for it.
Just do it for the Twitch chat right now. We all want to see it. It's gonna be so hype. I'm just waiting for it. But man, this is. But again, the pacing is interesting. But again, look at Saints. They haven't even lost a single player, and now it's just down to one lonely player, and he's able to find one. But can he do himself a second? He will not. So Saints reply back with an immediate round.
Yeah, almost had the turners and the burners there, but unfortunately is cut ever so short. 3 players still to go, but ultimately, though, the Saints, again, continuing that trend that we're starting to see on this map, with it being so small that the first team, the First Blood, is ultimately probably going to be the team that steamrolls their way through. And unfortunate there a little bit for Galaxy Ultra, as that First Blood came by the way of external forces, but nonetheless, 1-1.
Well, I mean, Havis right now is kind of leading in terms of the kills and stuff, and damage is the second the best on the team right now. So switching things onto the attack side, so we'll have to see what they're going to be able to find a little bit. We saw it as a quick round the first time they did this, so now maybe they're going to do the same thing. Maybe they might switch things up. Saints kind of playing very posted back right now, of course, but that nade is going to be a little bit more to take down.
No, Galaxy Ultra, those nades are suffocating. Wisers was just trying to play the game, and he flat out couldn't. Given all of the nades that Galaxy Ultra was just pummeling them with, did not necessarily capitalize on it, though. Instead, the Saints going to hit that rotation, and as are the Galaxy Ultra. They're going to try and make their way over towards B, but Prod will find the first kill, find the bomb carrier down as well. This is the first instance where we've seen an exchange of kills on Highrise S&D. Bomb plant trying to go down, but Desi says no, and now that bomb is in a very precarious spot for the Galaxy Ultra players who are trying to play re-entry. Crew giving himself away. It gets put on skates by Desi. My goodness of Victuals. What can you do in this unwinnable situation?
Yeah, this is nuts, man. I mean, Saints are just, again, just finding these multi-kills, getting so much comfort, and now it's just down to one lonely player here. He has to be able to pop off multiple players. He's not going to be able to do that. He gets double swung, so now Saints have put themselves in a 2-1 position, and they're starting to look really confident in this. And I mean, there's no really much like pressure for them. It seems like they've adapted well to this, and I was talking about momentum. I was talking about what can they do in this, and right now they got themselves a lead.
Yeah, and that feels like such an important round out of the Saints because they took that defensive round, the first one we have seen thus far. Now onto the attacker side where, again, you can just set the pace, set the momentum. Galaxy Ultra had a very interesting strategy in that round where, again, they were just pummeling with nades. Didn't feel like they were able to capitalize on it, though. So interested to see if the Saints maybe take that and say, hey, we might as well take a page from their book and try it out ourselves.
Yeah, the nade work has been really something to note here, and I'm really impressed by it right now. But we're going to have to see if the brooms are going to be brought out, because right now it's starting to look like a little bit of a potential sweep, and the first blood comes in the favor of Wisers again.
He just continues to find his way into the back lines. It's not preventable at this point. The Galaxy Ultra just have to play with their head on a swivel, and now two players standing of Victuals and Havis are not only going to have to try and find all of these kills, but they're going to have to try and find the defuse now, but just a Victuals, and now nobody, as the Saints jumping out to a 3-1 lead. Again, they have the series lead as well. They could end it with the brooms.
Yeah, they really could. I mean, this is starting to be quite evident that we're starting to see that Saints are looking really good about this. They're feeling good. The momentum's now really just gut-wrenching here against Galaxy Ultra, and it just seems like they don't have an answer. And I mean, the duels, we got to talk about these engagements. It just seems like Saints, every time, they're able to find at least one or two right away before there's even a trade.
Yeah, and Wisers has been a standout player from the Saints. He's just, again, in their backlines nonstop. The Galaxy Ultra have not found a way to stop this man. Again, I don't know if he's running a Halo invisibility cloak or what is going on here, but they need to stop him because he's doing so much damage. Desi will fall to external force. That might give an opening for the Galaxy Ultra to potentially capitalize. Gray will find another kill on the board, and wait a minute, the Saints might be in a dire spot. Wisers, what?
How is that a thing? He's now on a 5-kill spree. He's able to get himself in the back lines. You talked a lot about that. Now the bomb's going to go down, which is, I guess, a favorable position right now for the Ultra. But again, this should not be happening. It's a 2v2. This is anybody's round.
This very much is, and the kills could continue to go the way of the Saints. Wisers is just what is going on? What the Wisers? How are you doing that? You cannot do that on LAN! An ace for Wisers! He is the high-rise man! You cannot stop him!
Oh my god, Wisers. Let's just talk about it too. I mean, he is on a 7-kill streak right now, so he started in the deficit. He wasn't able to find anything. He had a goose egg, and he found the mother hen or something. I don't know what happened here, but all of a sudden, man, he just came out, and look at him. He's just popping heads and taking everybody's name.
It is over for the Galaxy Ultra if they cannot find a way to shut down Wisers. Their #1 priority in this defensive round has to be dealing with and finding Wisers. Those comms just have to be, Wisers is here. Attack. That's what the comms need to be at this point. The Saints are jumping out to such a lead, and it is all off the back of Wisers.
Wisers, honestly, I mean, it is an absolute team game here, but the fact that Wisers has just been able to put matters into his own hands and just come dead to rights, just taking everybody out, that's what you want, man. This is now where Galaxy Ultra, they're going to have to find something. They're in the gutter right now, so this is so gut-wrenching for them. They're going to have to do something big, and we haven't been able to see that yet. Nothing gonna land. You can already see, so Galaxy Ultra on the defense are kind of waiting things out, but Wisers again, man! He gets the first blood, why not? He finally gets put down!
Oh, and Galaxy Ultra, 2 kills on the board for them. That bomb plant is going to be prevented, at least for the time being. Prof will find another to even things out. Desi, another on the board. And it just comes down to Cray. When you think the Galaxy Ultra have something going, the Saints just come back, and they come back in a huge way. Bomb's still down for Cray, though, so if he can get the setup to go, this could still be very winnable.
Whoa.
We'll find the kill off onto Prof. Now it comes down to a 1v1, 18, 17 seconds left to work with here. Bomb will eventually go down on that A point. Now Cray has to play for the retake, a 1v1.
1v1, I mean, time is ticking here, so he's going to have to get moving here pretty fast. And I mean, this is the thing, it is the 1v1 situation. Cray's just looking all over the place, and he's just scouting things out, and this Desi, he might be able to find something, a little bit of a tickle. Nothing much yet, though. Look at this. Ring around the rosy they go. They're trying everything they can. Look at the positioning, and Desi, he's on ice skates again.
Cray with a second chance at life, though, is going to try and potentially go for the defuse. Has the room to operate with, and he has to hit it. 3 seconds to do so, and Desi is just playing with his prey. There's nothing you can do as time is the additional player there. Get the kill to go, but the Saints will call on match point, series point.
Wow, oh wow, right now, Saints, I mean, I just cannot believe the way they're coming in with this, and they're just taking this game so quick. They are, like I said, the brooms are out, man. It's not a sweep yet, but, I mean, it's starting to look like it. And this is the thing, like, everybody's got hot hands right now. They're feeling really good, and they're almost done this thing.
This could very well be that last round. The one thing going for the Galaxy Ultra here, they start off on the attacker side, and we saw them start the map on the attacker side. That's the only round that they've taken thus far. So they really need to put pedal to the metal here again. The series on the line. Fate completely in the balance right here as the Saints are just getting aggressive once again. The positioning as Wisers duck dive dodging his way through the map.
Good positioning, though, that we can see from the Saints here, too. I mean, again, you can already just see they're clustered right in mid right now. They're just kind of waiting things out. They're not really being too aggressive, but yeah, no. Wisers, yeah, man. Yeah, you do you. You do you, bro. You just get those kills, and now he's put himself at 10-4, and now putting a deficit already here for Galaxy Ultra. They have to be able to find, now bringing it to a 3-3.
Habituals with the response frag as well, and again, Galaxy Ultra, they are playing so scared here because they don't know where any of these Saints players are. Wisers is just running amok on them. You still have 2 players as well, additionally, on top of that to deal with Prof. The first line of defense heading on into the site will find the first, but will be denied the second. So now Galaxy Ultra trying to make their way through the funnel here over towards that A site, but Prod is on Overwatch. He has that first kill, and it comes down to a 1v1, and Wisers, who else but Wisers to close and to send the Saints further on into today's bracket.
Wow, what a statement that was made here from the Saints. What a beautiful way to get this thing closed off. A nice 2-0, man. They just took this game. They had full comfortability in this. They didn't look like they were sweating at all. Whew. I was thinking on paper, again, Galaxy Ultra, I was like, look, they've been pretty good on S&D. They've been nail-biter games, but I was like, look, they got an edge there. But like I said, you can't just rely on the stats and history because clearly Saints had something else in store for us.
Yeah, and what they had in store for us was Wisers. 11-4. Are you kidding me? But the great thing about the Saints is it isn't just Wisers. You mentioned that earlier. It's not just him. This team as a unit, and it goes back to that Skid Row hardpoint that we saw. I mean, they are so good on their rotations, on their respawns. All of them have the opportunity to pop off. All of them have the gunny enabling them to do so. But that was just the Wiser show on Highrise. I mean, that man was... I wanted a trick shot, but I feel like I got a couple out of him with the way he was skating around. My lord.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see like one player just kind of, you know, again, just go full acceleration and just get multi-kills like that. And again, putting the fact that we saw a 6-1 scoreline, like, I think his team set him up for success. But I mean, the fact that he was able to, you know, win those engagements and again, just no sweat off the brow. He was the unsung hero in this. I mean, that just gave them such a boost going further into the upper bracket now.
Yeah, and such a dominant way to do so. They'll now go on to face the Houston Spartans. The Spartans are a very tall task ahead of them, but again, the Saints showing up and showing out, showing that they have the right to go up against a team like this that finished 3-0 and 6-0 on maps in the pool play. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Obviously, as unfortunately, we will not be the casters that have the opportunity to do so, but fortunately, we as well have 6 other casting duos that you'll be seeing throughout the night and day here. Lots of Call of Duty action, man, and it's just a fantastic opportunity to have joined you on the desk here. We saw some great Call of Duty action thus far, and I do believe as well we still have an interview coming our way.
Yeah, I believe so. And again, just for anybody that's not familiar with the cast off, I mean, again, you got the privilege to see a bunch of different personalities and casters here, and we're all kind of fighting to see and voting to see who can make it for tomorrow. So whoever you enjoy, make sure to put in the Twitch chat. There is a vote, the ! Vote. You can decide who you think was the best duo and you want to see for tomorrow. But of course, yes, it was a great way for us to start this morning. First round matches that we got to see, and again, there's so much Call of Duty that's going to be happening through the day. It's going to be hype.
Yeah, no, you're not going to want to miss a second of the action today or tomorrow. Of course, we have Carbo and Kamaka, who have been waiting in the wings so graciously through all the BattleNet issues and everything like that. So you are, of course, not going to want to miss those guys on the mic here. Do believe, again, we're going to have an interview in a matter of moments here coming on with Prod, who just want to talk about, I mean, his kills on the Hardpoint were something else. He was really the wisers of that Hardpoint, it felt like.
No, he definitely was. I mean, he was, was sitting at a 19-11. I mean, he was able to get, about 5 assists. That was in the previous game too. And he was pretty much the second highest player with most damage too. So, I mean, again, like you said, he was one of those MVPs in Hardpoint. He definitely made a lot of statements. He was able to get a lot of good impact. And that's the thing. We were thinking, okay, well, maybe Prod will do it again in S&D. But then Wisers is like, no, I'm in the back here. I'm good. Let me answer that question for you. And that's the thing. So I'm excited to talk to Prod. I think we're just waiting a few minutes, which is great, but we're just about there. And I mean, I'm going to be curious on a few things with these guys.
Yeah, and I just want to talk about the guns as well, because with regards to MW3, the meta has been MCW. Sub players are running MCW, AR players are running MCW. We saw Wisers go to town with the Rival 9, and that's not necessarily something going into this that I expected, because again, the MCW is just so OP within the landscape of MW3 in the meta right now.
Yeah, exactly. But it does look like we're ready to go for the interview. So I think we still got Prod, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey!
What's
How
up?
you feeling, man?
I feel great, man. I love LAN. It's great to be back, man. We out here in Columbus. Shout out Columbus. Shout out Game Arena. It's my favorite venue by far.
Yeah, man, that was honestly an amazing BO3 from you guys. You guys made a huge statement, but I got to ask you, I'm going to go to the obvious question here. So map 2, we go to S&D. Like, did you guys have a pep talk, or did you guys like have a snack or something? Like, what happened? Like, how did you guys go 6-1?
Well, look, I'm going to keep it real. The whole time, this whole week, we haven't scrimmed any HP together. So, I mean, we've all been doing our own thing. I've been playing a lot of Search. I know Desi's been playing Search. I know Wisers plays a lot of Search. And Prof, I mean, he's got our snipes, man. So we went in there. We had some game plans. We were like, let's, I'm not going to give all the sauce. But, we went in there. We had some pep talks a little bit. We didn't really go over too many strats, but we kind of had some strats in the playbook, me, Desi, and Wisers. And we kind of just threw Prof in there with the snipe and kind of worked around the snipe. And, yeah, I mean, they were giving us a lot of picks, too. It made it easy for us.
I mean, for not scrimming Hardpoint, my goodness, 250 to 182 is the score on that one, and you guys looked phenomenal on Skid Row, especially on your end with those quick rotates, man. I mean, you were locking down those hills.
Come on, man. What can I say, bro? I mean, look, people say the game's crazy, like they're like, we can't read spawns, and I'm like, listen, man, go hit a VOD sesh. The game's not that hard. It's not that, difficult to really understand. Yeah, there's some, fugazi spawns, but that's every COD. Really, I mean, we kept the spawns. Prof, he's played a lot of Hardpoint, so he's really our IGL of, this is how we should break. This is where we should be holding. This is the spawns we want. And then me and Desi, 2 best ARs in this event, hands down. So, we'll lock down the spawns, the early rotos, and we got Wisers out there getting cracked. Prof doing his thing. I mean, everything was just, flowing smoothly. We had the back alley was really our only weak hill, but we kind of, knew going into that hill that, hey, we locked down the 60 for P2, so we're going to give them advantage on P3. Let's just keep it scrappy, get some time off. If we get time, we're going to club them. And really, that's the only hill they got time on, so.
Man, yeah, that's sick. And I guess I'm going to ask you too, because we were looking at the bracket as well with you guys getting this win. So now you're going to be playing the Houston Spartans. So I don't know if you guys have been able to see them at all. Like, what are your initial thoughts? I mean, these guys are doing quite well right now.
My initial thoughts, these guys have been playing together every day, all day. So we go in here and we slam these guys. I don't know what to tell you, man, but we haven't got to see them at all. I can say I just watched Conway and his team. They were in our booth. They were taking notes, recording our voice. No, I'm just kidding. They weren't recording our voices, but they were in there watching our strats. So they got some strats on us. So I will say expect this to be the match of the day. I believe this will be the best series you guys will definitely see all weekend probably.
Hey, man, you've done the marketing for us. You've done our job for us. We don't have to even set it up anymore.
Hey, man, I love it here, bro. I love
Saints.
the environment. I love LAN. I love CoD, bro. It feels great to be back, man.
Ah, man, that's going to be a fantastic matchup to follow. I want to thank you so much for joining us on the interview desk, of course. And, hey, keep on frying out there. You guys are a lot of fun to watch.
Appreciate it, man. Love y'all. Go follow me on Twitter, @LoganProd. I'm out.
I got you.
Let's go. All right. Well, you guys heard it here first. Not going to want to miss that Saints versus Houston Spartans match whatsoever. Laz, I don't feel like we really have to do much more to market that because Prod did a fantastic job there, man.
No, man, he really did. And the only thing I was going to say is, like, the one thing I love about, like, when we were talking to them is just the confidence, right? Like, he's feeling good, and he's even making the comments about, yeah, they're watching us. I don't really care. We're going to, come in with a bang, and we're going to make this the best match of the whole weekend. So that's a huge thing to really go into a game like that when they know the deck is kind of against them in some fashion with a team that practices every day and has been, like, kind of a roster together. But I love that he wants to be the underdog, and he wants to make a bit of a statement here. So that is going to be a game to watch, no doubt.
Oh, yeah. No, the confidence is backed as well with the Gunny, and just in general, they look so good. I'm so surprised that they aren't scrimming Hardpoint because, my lord. That being said, though, I mean, that's just about it for us on the broadcast desk here, Laz. Anything else to say, man?
No, I don't think so at all. But again, just for anybody that is just tuning in, again, there's lots of other casters that are going to be here today, lots of different duos. So if you enjoyed us, make sure to give us a vote. But, of course, you got to listen to all these other people as well. They're all hype. They're really good. So I'm excited to sit back, have a snack and kind of, watch some sick Call of Duty. But definitely a pleasure, and a big shout out to Game Arena for hosting this. This is such a cool opportunity for everybody, the players and, of course, casters and staff as well.
Yeah, still a lot of Modern Warfare 3 action coming your way. This is the Game Arena Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 launch event. You're not going to want to miss Carbo and Comica joining us after the break. We'll see you guys.